Good morning, OKM. 8:34. Happy Thursday to you. You know, you drive around the Lake Norman area, you drive all around Charlotte, you drive really pretty much anywhere in North Carolina, you just see a lot of construction happening. And that involves breaking things apart, tearing things down, throwing it away.
Yeah.
And, you know, you got to have a way to get it from wherever you're at, like your driveway, we'll say, to the dump, or get it just away from your house because you don't want it anymore. You're making a big renovation or you're building something. You need a dumpster for that. Well, Willow Dumpsters is a great option. Reid, the co-owner of Willow Dumpsters, is joining us this morning. Good morning, Reid. How are you?
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for hanging out with us. You've been dispatching and running trucks around since what, like 4 this morning?
About 5, yeah.
Wow.
So give us the origin story of Willow Dumpsters. You were on Joe Vagnone's show, Local Biz Now, once before. We appreciate you coming on here. Give us the origin story of Willow Dumpsters.
So I was running an outdoor living business. So we did a lot of covered porches, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, fire pits, paver patios, retaining walls. Of course, construction ends up creating debris, trash at the end of the day. We had a client that we needed the project done before 4th of July, and we ordered a dumpster to get rid of the debris. It wasn't taken out in time, although we gave them, a couple days notice. It wasn't taken out of time, so we couldn't clean the driveway. At that point, the homeowner then had a dumpster and a partially clean driveway for their grand finale, 4th of July party.
So I find a lot of people start businesses either out of pain or out of pleasure, one of the two. And so it sounds like yours was out of a pain point more than anything.
Yes, correct.
And so you decide, okay, I'm going to start my own dumpster company. How does that go from there? Did you just go on eBay and buy a dumpster and just said, hey, deliver it here? Or how'd that work?
The long story, we bought a used Penske truck. I brought it to a fabricator. We shortened it by 10 feet, the driveline, brakes, and then built a smaller dumpster truck. But then later on realized that the weight that gets put in dumpsters is more substantial than a Penske truck frame could handle. So I ended up going into, they're called Class 8 CDL trucks with 2-3 axles in the rear. So then the trucks are capable of carrying about 10 tons now.
And you've grown this business substantially. You've got a partner that you had brought in as well. And you said you have 400 bins that you guys have at any one time?
I would have to look at our spreadsheet, but somewhere in that range.
And 11 different trucks as well.
Correct, yeah.
That's a pretty substantial size operation. How far do you guys go? What's your territory, would you say?
About an hour every direction. So we're based out of, more central Charlotte. So we'll go all the way to Statesville, all the way south to Rock Hill, west to, Bessemer City, Gastonia, east to Albemarle. So pretty much like an hour radius. We work with a lot of, let's say, like commercial general contractors, and their general service area is pretty similar. So it's sort of, follow our customers' needs at the end of the day.
When do you still build pergolas too, just for fun? Or no, did you just go full-time dumpsters on?
Yeah, it's been full-time dumpsters for a few years. It's an all-consuming business.
Is this something that just contractors can use? Or like if I just get tired of my garage being messy, can I call and order one up?
We deal with some homeowners. Yeah. It's really based on capacity at the end of the day. So sometimes we can't handle homeowners or, some of the more like smaller residential based things. But even if we can't handle it, we have enough connections that we're able to help you out.
It's got to get messy sometimes, right? Because
Yeah.
you guys you take the trash to the dump, or what do you guys do with the trash?
We have some materials that are recycling. We have some materials that go to specific facilities. We have some materials that are just trash. Then there's different types of trash. So each disposal site or transfer station has its own regulations. So it's really dependent on what's in the bin. So it's people just expect, hey, drop a dumpster, you'll haul it somewhere. We really need to know what's going in it, and that will determine where it needs to be disposed of or recycled.
Your pain point of a dumpster not being picked up at a particular time to be the best for your client that you were working with at the time, has that quality of service of what you wanted translated into Willow Dumpsters?
Yes, correct. So that's came with the growth, because if you can't get to people on time and same day, next day, maybe the day after, then it becomes difficult to meet people's demands.
Yeah. Having a CDL is pretty cool. Do you ever get out there and just whip the truck around for fun these days just to have a good time on a
Do
Thursday?
donuts in a parking lot. Yeah.
I haven't in a while, just because the operations of the business is very consuming. But having that knowledge of operating the truck really allows me, when drivers call in with them, something allows me to answer questions and problem solve pretty quickly.
I'm not a big game boxer, but I imagine with 11 trucks, 400 bins, you have like one of those mega game chairs where you're just like leaned back. You know what I mean? It's like the 5 screens around you as you're dispatching everyone. How do you guys where do you run your operations out of these days?
So we don't have a physical office. We have, physical yard locations, but we don't have a physical office because, hey, I'm here right now. Then I'll go back to, my home office, work on a few things. Then I'll have a meeting. So it's very mobile at the end of the day.
How is it tough to find people for the CDL space? Because you got not just having a CDL, but being reliable, right? Because they're handling your equipment. They're pulling up on job sites with probably multi-million-dollar houses or pool renovation, right? All these other kind of projects that are going on. What's it like for you to jump into a space of staffing that kind of an organization?
I mean, it's a challenge, but it's not perfect. But one thing that's really helped is us treating our current drivers well, and them, you can have employers say, hey, we're going to do this for you. We're going to treat you this way. But having other employees that are able to vouch for us and how we handle people is, that word of mouth in itself has been helpful. And then in terms of you have the categories of, hey, someone has a CDL, but have they ran a roll-off truck? Are they experienced? How is their driving record? Because insurance gets the final yay or nay. So there's some complicated parts to it, but it's an ever learning and changing environment.
You go from literally 0 of your own bins. You've got 400 now. How would you describe the current state of the business itself? And do you want to grow more? Or are you just back, hanging on for the ride and enjoying it at this point? Or talk to us about that.
We're trying to be more strategic in the growth versus saying yes to everything. Because at the end of the day, a single dumpster can run $6,000-$7,000. So if you say yes to everyone, your cash flow won't be able to keep up with that growth. So it's been, at this point, being strategic and selective is sort of the current state.
It's almost like, they have data that they release for market data for real estate. You saying that, you tell us off air that you have 400 bins, but there's some days where there's 0 on the lot. That tells me that development and construction is going pretty well in the area.
Yeah. I mean, Charlotte, try and find just raw land that's not being developed. It's pretty challenging. So it's being involved in a lot of it. I'm able to see development and phases of things happening way in advance. For example, if we're working with a site contractor that does the initial grading for a neighborhood, for example, then we're going to start to know about these projects way in advance compared to, you might have to physically pass by that to know that's going on. So
I would imagine, too, that some contractors are particular in the way they want to order their dumpster, probably by phone. Some of them want to be able to do. Some of them want to probably just be able to do a form on the website. Do you offer both, or kind of how does it work if they wanted to order a bin from you?
It's either text, call, email. Everyone has their preference. We sort of, whatever works for them, we'll make happen. The online ordering, we did offer that, but there's so many nuances. People just expect drop a dumpster and that's that. But there's so many nuances that turn to, hey, having a conversation with someone in whatever form, email, call, text is usually needed.
So if someone wanted one, or is there a price? Are you able to share your pricing, kind of in general? I know that it varies, right? There's different size bins. I would imagine it depends on the materials. Like you said, hey, if I'm just giving you straight paint, right, of a 27-footer full of paint, that's probably gonna be a little bit pricier. But give us the rundown.
It's very dependent on location, the scope of the project, what size dumpster, do we have existing relationship? Is that something we're going to work towards? So it's all over the board. There's no standard rate that we could be like, hey, here's the pricing. Because, for example, if someone said, hey, I have household debris I need to get rid of versus construction, that's actually going to run more just based off of disposal costs.
And then weight is a factor, I would imagine, too, for you guys.
Yeah, that's whether it's disposal or recycling, we're paying by weight. So it's that's a pretty important part to your point.
Absolutely. Reid, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us. Willow Dumpsters, cool story, man. You started with a pain point, now ripping and running a whole business, brought a partner on and everything else. Congratulations to you on the success. Hope it continues stress-free for you as you continue to grow and as the needs continue there. So thanks for coming in and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Willow Dumpsters. Check them out. Reid, the co-owner, Willow Dumpsters. What's the website if anybody has questions?
WillowDumpsters.com.
Makes it easy. WillowDumpsters.com. You can get your bin today. Thanks, Reid.